the 5. Back to the 20. And knocked down as he gets near the 22-yard line. Anthony Dilweg, the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for his performance last week in the win over Los Angeles. He'll get the start today. The second-year man out of Duke, a third-round draft choice. And he is joined offensively on the Green Bay front line by Rutgers, Billy Ard, James Campton, Keith Euchre, Tony Mandarich, and Ed West. And the backfield, Woodside, and a surprise, Brent Fullwood sits down. Michael Haddix gets the start. Perry Kemp and Sterling Sharp join in. They open from the I formation, and Perry Kemp comes in tight to the left. First down from the 22. The handoff goes to Keith Woodside, and he gets just a couple before William Perry makes the tackle. Defensively for Chicago, it's Trace Armstrong, Perry, Dan Hampton, and Richard Dent. Steve McMichael will rotate in and out. Rivera, Singletary, and Morrissey in the linebackers. And the secondary, they played very well last week. Donnell Wolford, Lemuel Stinson, Mark Carrier, and Sean Gale. Second down and 9 after a gain of 1. Backs are split. Now Woodside goes wide to the left or the right side. And Sterling Sharp is split wide left. Haddix out of the backfield. Straight drop back for Dilweg. Batted down.
Well, the old man on the front line, Dan Hampton, number 99, is going to make this play. The Packers come with nobody in the backfield. Watch Hampton get his right hand up and knock this one away. Shows he still has a little spring in those old knees of his.
Dan Hampton with 10 knee operations now.
He's in a perfect mood for this game, especially after the comments made about him last week. He is in a very nasty mood.
Well, we'll follow up on that because Dan Fouts had a chance to chat with Dan Hampton in the locker room about an hour ago. 3rd and 9. This is the Royal flush step. Dilweg, no time. He's sacked, and there's also a flag. No doubt offensive holding, which will be declined. The referee today is Dale Hamer. This might be tripping instead of holding. At any rate, against the Packers.
Tripping, number 67 for the offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Penalty is on Billy Ard. Lindy Infante in his 3rd year now as head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Don Bracken is on to punt, and Johnny Bailey will return them. Bailey was an adventure back there last week. He can really scat. He's from Texas A&I. He bobbled a couple, actually fumbled one. Here's Bracken's punt, not necessarily a good one, into the wind. And a fair catch called by Johnny Bailey, which will give Chicago excellent field position at the 47-yard line, a 33-yard punt. Jim Harbaugh is the starting quarterback. Very conservative game plan for Harbaugh last week in the win over Seattle. But he was most effective, and he is joined on offense up front by the same line that started the '85 Super Bowl. Covert, Ports, Hilgenberg, Thayer, Van Horn, James Thornton, the tight end, Anderson, Muster, Wendell Davis, and Ron Morris, the wide receivers. Packers showing a blitz on 1st down. Play fake. Harbaugh goes deep on 1st down. And it's right into the hands of Jerry Holmes. He overthrew Thornton, and Jerry Holmes has the ball at the 37-yard line.
Well, the Packers confused Harbaugh with this fake blitz look. He was expecting man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and even if he had it, he had overthrown Thornton by so much that Holmes in his zone is there for the interception. But what a pickup for the Packers to pick up Jerry Holmes by Plan B from Detroit. Another successful Plan B acquisition for Green Bay.
Hank Bulla, the defensive coordinator, told us last night, "I'm very happy with the play of Jerry Holmes." Well, he should be. 1st and 10. Holmes with his first interception of the season. Now Dilweg, handoff to Haddix. And that one is stuffed after a gain of 1 by Richard Dent. There's Jerry Holmes. Been around the league a while.
Well, he's 32 years old, and the Packers, the guy he's replacing is Dave Brown, who he may be 38 or 39. He's in that Satchel Paige range of age. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you was?
2nd down and 9. There's Jim Harbaugh getting a bit of conversation from Mike Ditka.
And that won't be the last either, if he throws the ball like that.
Jeff Query has come in, number 85, at wide receiver for the Packers. 2nd and 9. On the roll. Here's Dilweg. Nice pass. Sterling Sharp. And that's a 1st down at the 49. Dilweg right on the line. A gain of 14.
Dilweg is probably a better scrambler, or at least a thrower on the run, that people give him credit for. Watch how the control he has. No pressure at all. Singletary's late, and Sharp finds another hole in the zone of the Bears. And the Packers, with that interception, have turned the field position in their favor.
You see the receptions last year for Sharp. Last week against the Rams, they rolled the zone up on him, and he was held to only 2 catches. 1st and 10 now, Green Bay. No score. 12 minutes to go, 1st quarter. Hand off to Michael Haddix. Surges over the right tackle spot. The block supplied by Mandarich and Euchre. And let's look at the eyes of Michael Haddix.
The important thing is he keeps his eyes straight ahead until he gets the ball, and now he's got to find a running lane there. It goes right by Perry, but with that big left arm of William Perry's, he's got enough strength to bring him down, but not before a nice 8-yard gain.
Haddix, another Plan B acquisition, a one-time 1st-round draft choice. The Philadelphia Eagles, a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 from the 42. Now Sharp comes to the left side. They will move him around a lot today, trying to free him up with different sets. Here's Haddix again, and he's knocked down at the 40-yard line. Tackle made by William Perry. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Perry has really gotten himself into probably the best shape he's been in the last 3 or 4 years. In fact, on Monday and Tuesday, when the Bears have off and have a very light day on Monday, William Perry was working the Stairmaster, trying to increase his endurance.
Perry now listed at 320 pounds.
He's got a few more stairs to climb.
3rd and 1. Backs in the eye. Haddix. That's going to be close for the 1st down at the 39-yard line. Now, again, we were told by the Packer officials, the public relations department, that the Michael Haddix start for Fullwood was not injury related, simply a last-minute decision. This is short of the 1st down. And a decision now, if it is indeed short, for Lindy Infante than Seattle did all last week. Ah, boy, Fullwood. As Mike Singletary took a bead on Fullwood and just missed him. Singletary guessed, Dan, and he guessed right, but he just missed the tackle.
Well, there is nothing wrong with Brent Fullwood. Watch Singletary come from the left side here as he reads the play but cannot make the tackle. Right there, Fullwood with the breaking of the arm tackle, covering the ball up well, picks up about 5 yards and a Packer 1st down, but Mike Singletary won't miss that tackle very often.
Rams with an early lead over Tampa Bay. They lost here last week. Cleveland and the Jets are tied, and Philadelphia leads Phoenix. No score in this game. 1st down at the 35-yard line. Dilweg, nice fake by Anthony Dilweg. The comeback screen to Keith Woodside, who slips, then scampers down to the 25. Recognize that play?
Well, Dilweg is an excellent faker, and he fakes out Lemuel Stinson, number 32. Watch as he bites the fake, and if Dilweg doesn't see, well, he does not see a sure touchdown right here to Sterling Sharp. And you know one thing, that Sterling went right back to the huddle, and the coaches upstairs here in the press box, they're on the phones saying, hey, listen, I think we got somebody who's peeking in that secondary, and his number is 32.
Lemuel Stinson promised Chicago fans he would get 2 interceptions today. He had 1 last week. Back split, Bears comes the blitz. And that pass thrown away as Woodside was the intended receiver, or Sharp. And both were short of the pass. The
important thing for Dilweg now is not to force the ball and cause some type of interception, The Bears are in field goal range, although they will be kicking into a pretty stiff breeze. But the important thing is to get on the board early and have the Bears chase the Packers.
See Blair Keel flashing in the signals. He and Mikowski and Dilweg make up their own signals. So there's a shorthand between the three quarterbacks. One of those two is live, but in actuality, it's Keel more than it is Mikowski, who's the actual man sending in the signals. Second down and 10. No score. Inside handoff, Woodside. He's got Sharp downfield, first and goal. Just inside the 10, Keith Woodside.
Misdirection play here for the Packers as good block by Jackie Harris springs Woodside, and now it's just pure speed as he's into the secondary. And the Packers are putting together a pretty nice drive. Very important after a turnover to take the ball down and pay off your defense by scoring, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown.
That was a gain of 14 for Keith Woodside. It's first and goal at the 10, just inside. Backs in the eye again. Woodside, cutback. Touchdown, Green Bay. Well, what an unexpected key participant in the drive. Keith Woodside, who is used more as a wide receiver than a running back in this offense.
But the thing that Lindy likes about him is his versatility. Here he is as the I-back with the straight-ahead blast play with good vision to cut it back to the weak side. The Bears plug it up over the middle, but Woodside with enough speed and vision gets in for the 6.
Chris Jackie will tack on the extra point. Don Bracken will hold. Chris Jackie will put up the point. It's good. So a Jerry Holmes interception leads to a drive highlighted by the running of Keith Woodside, who got the touchdown and gives Green Bay. And held up by the breeze, taken short by James Rouse. Rookie fullback from Arkansas, and he gets it out to the 30-yard line. So Jim Harbaugh, who was intercepted on his first pass of the game, is back on the field.
Yeah, and that's not the type of way to start if you're a Chicago Bear quarterback, because Ditka's not afraid to put in the second string guy, or in this case, Mike Tomczak.
Time has been called on the field, 7-0. The Green Bay Packers lead the Chicago Bears. And the victim of viral encephalitis about a month ago, a very serious illness that almost cost him his life.
That's really good to see him back on the sidelines and back in the swing of things. Probably not too happy about that first play he called, though.
First down and 10. Handoff, Neil Anderson. Tripped up and dropped. Brian Noble, who led this team in tackles last week in the win over LA.
And Noble is playing with a bad shoulder, had a pinched nerve last week against the Rams. But watch the intensity of Brian Noble. He's not the, Mike Singletary's not the only linebacker with big eyes. Fighting off the block of Thayer, just getting enough of Anderson for the loss.
There's Brian Noble. Lester Archambault has come in, and this time Tim Harris, the pass rush specialist, lines up on the left side. Back split on second down. Inside handoff. Muster breaks into the secondary and surges across the 40 near the first down.
Well, the offensive line of the Bears really fires off the ball well here. Nice job of Thayer with a combination block, and then the strength of Muster pulling away from Johnny Holland, picking up the first down.
Mark Murphy, by the way, has come out of the defensive backfield for the Packers, and Tiger Green has been joined by Jerry Woods. We'll check and see if that's injury related. First down and 10 after a gain of 13. Anderson. Brian Noble again. 2 fine plays.
You get the feeling that after the interception that Ditka wants the ball on the ground and he wants them running it. A couple of fine plays by Brian Noble. This is the kind of game that linebackers and offensive linemen have got to love. They know where the ball is going to be 90% of the time today, and it's going to be right in their face.
See what Green Bay has in mind defensively now. Jim Harbaugh told us last night their blitz down is second down between 6 and 9 yards. And this is 2nd and 9. They're not showing the blitz now. Here they come. Here comes Noble. And there's the blitz. And Scott Stevens gives way to Neil Anderson, who fires right by him. So they blitz on the run, and Anderson makes them pay the price.
The thought behind blitzing on 2nd and long is to get a sack, number one, if they are throwing the ball, and bringing up that 3rd and real long where you can sit back in a zone and look for interceptions. But the Bears primarily are a running team, and with Neil Anderson, he's probably the best overall all-around back in the entire league.
It'll be 3rd and 2 officially. 7-0, 4:40 to go, first quarter. Muster, first down, Chicago, as they cross into Green Bay territory for the first time. Brad Muster, who had the offseason back surgery.
Really good news for all Bear fans to see Muster healthy and running the ball well. Last week, his very first carry picked up a bunch of yards and knocked out the guy trying to tackle him. But when he gets low like that, at 6'3" and over 230 pounds, he is very difficult to stop.
First and 10. Back split behind Harbaugh. Anderson. Whoa, boy! Brian Noble again.
Well, do you think that Brian Noble knows Neil Anderson? I know Neil Anderson knows Brian Noble. That's right in his chest there. One thing that running backs hate to do is to get up in the air and to come down on their back.
And that's exactly what happened. 3 fine tackles by Brian Noble, 2nd and 9. 3:14 to go, first quarter. Anderson comes right. Blitz coming from Noble. Brian Noble on Brad Muster.
We talked about 2nd and long being a blitz down for the Packers. Here comes Noble right up the middle, and nobody there to pick him up except Muster. And Brian Noble's going after a world record here in the first quarter.
He's a one-time 5th-round draft choice and not what you would call one of the more widely heralded linebackers in the NFL. But what a performance here in the first quarter. Now 3 wide receivers come to the near side on 3rd and 9. Dennis Gentry goes in motion. Out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Harbaugh rolls right. Good coverage. Tim Harris sacked him. And here come the 6 guns.
There's a real mismatch there as he fights off the block of Gentry, and then the speed of Tim Harris chasing Harbaugh down from behind, and things are working right into Hank Bullough, the defensive coordinator's hands for the Packers.
2nd sack of the season for Tim Harris, who had 19 and a half last year. Jeff Query back to return the punt on 4th down. Here's Maury Buford. Fair catch. Whoa, bobbled. Query caused a few hearts to stop. First down at the 4-yard line. Green Bay with a fine defensive stand. They lead Chicago by 7 by Jeff Query. Green Bay with a 1st and 10 at their own 4. Steve McMichael has replaced Dan Hampton. And William Perry has moved over to right tackle. From the end zone. Caught by Woodside out near the 8. That's a gain of 4 yards. Woodside, who has been a key ingredient of the offense early on now for Green Bay. Tackle made by Mark Carrier.
You talked about that, Breeze, Vern, and this is really going to factor in here. field position was so much a part of the Bears' win last week against Seattle. Good punting by Maury Buford, good kick coverage kept the Seahawks pinned back. So far, the Bears have pinned back the Packers except for the one interception that turned it around.
See Steve McMichael in there, number 76, after a long holdout. Signed late. Now Singletary threatening the blitz. He's coming. Dilweg on a roll, chased by Singletary. Fires to Sterling Sharp. Caught! Oh, what a dandy grab.
Well, Sharp already has as many catches today as he had all last week, and this is why he caught 90 last year and made the Pro Bowl. This is a Pro Bowl catch. The feet on the sidelines, the tippy toes, and the first down.
That's a gain of 17, 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Sterling Sharp, who said he thought that route adjustments were more important in success as a wide receiver than pure speed. Changing your routes on every play. Here's Dilweg back. Fumble! Picked up by the Packers. That'll be a loss. Trace Armstrong got there, number 93.
Well, and the guy that was supposed to block Trace Armstrong is Tony Mandrich, or as Bozo, as Mike Ditka likes to call him. Number 77 in the middle of the screen there is working on Armstrong, number 93, and Armstrong with the rip under just gets right by him, and Mandrich can't even hold him out long enough for Dilweg to get the ball off. Big play for the Bears.
Mandrich gave way to Armstrong and then saved the football. That's the end of the first quarter with our score. The Green Bay Packers 7 and the Chicago 7-0. The Packers leading now. Just had a big sack though from Trace Armstrong. And it's 2nd down and 22. Right side. Oh boy, Buell Stinson with good coverage on Perry Kemp.
That's as close as you can cover him. Stinson last week got into the prediction business by saying that he'd pick off a couple and that the Bears secondary would get a bunch, and he came to be right on a couple of those, but whether he gets any this week or not remains to be seen. But he has done an outstanding job, beat out Festy Jackson for that starting cornerback position, and had tremendously close coverage on Perry Kemp that time.
Well, to be precise, he protected 2 for himself and 5 for the team today. Now 3rd and 22. Morrissey, the lone linebacker, 6 DBs in, 5-man rush. Dilweg across the middle, knocked down. Donnell Wolford. And it'll be 4th down and 22.
Well, the big play in this drive was the forced fumble by Trace Armstrong, and that forced the Packers into an obvious long passing situation. And the Bears this year rely on their front 4 to get pressure on the quarterback. That allows them to drop 7 people and play in the zones, as Wolford there almost came up with a pick.
Don Bracken will have this stiff breeze behind him now. Johnny Bailey waits for it at the 40-yard line. Bracken, who almost lost his job in preseason to Dale Hatcher. That is returnable. Bailey at the 37. Nears the 45 and is down at the 47-yard line. Tackle made by Bryant. 1st down and 10. They trail 7-0. Jim Harbaugh threw a pass interception on the first offensive play of the game for the Bears. Has not thrown one since. James Thornton sets up tight to the right, and Neil Anderson splits out wide to the left. Now Bob Nelson cocks a defensive nose tackle and takes an angle. Here's Harbaugh. Caught by Wendell Davis, and he cuts inside to the 43-yard line. Coming up next on this CBS doubleheader, most of you around the country will see the Washington Redskins against the 49ers. Others will watch the Giants at Dallas, and still others New Orleans at Minnesota. But the key matchup of the day, I think, that Washington-San Francisco game. Redskins looked awfully good last week, and the 49ers had a tough battle down in New Orleans.
Well, they really did. The 49ers are talking about it being another slow start for them, as they started slowly last year. We all know how they fixed it up and got it going at 14-2, but that should be a good one, especially Mark Rippon seems to be hot.
That'll be the second game of the doubleheader. Here's the measurement to see if Wendell Davis got the first down, and he's less than a foot. Ron Morris, the motion man. Here's the blitz. Anderson picks up the first down at the 43-yard line. Rams increase their lead in the heat in Tampa Bay, 14-0. That's a banged-up football team right now. Atlanta and Detroit are tied at 7. And Bruce Coslett's team over the Cleveland Browns, 14-7. Miami leading Buffalo 7-0. 13:32 to go first half. 1st and 10 Chicago. They trail 7-0. Thornton splits out wide to the right. Delay of game.
I think it's too late for that.
7-0 Green Bay. 13:07 to go first half. Back split on 1st and 15. And again, Bob Nelson takes an angle at nose tackle. Harbaugh deep in the middle. Thornton, nice pass. First down at the 23. Mark Murphy with the tackle. Let's check on Atlanta and Detroit. Back to New York. Greg, 23-yard gain on first down and 15. Harbaugh to James Thornton, first down. Chicago, kind of a cockeye now in the backfield. That one looked nasty at the outset. Line, and they said Hilgenberg, and then you said, who's the stupidest?
They said Hilgenberg because he's from a football family. That's how he got his smarts, but he should be smart enough to get out of the game.
1st and 15. 7-0. Green Bay leads it. Draw play. Neil Anderson. Nowhere to run. Harris and Murphy and Nelson all a part of the defensive job.
Well, the Packers are putting great pressure on up front. And again, it's a 1st and long situation, similar to a 2nd and long. The Packers will come with almost everybody. Anderson on the draw. This is about as exciting a 1-yard gain as you'll find. No place to go. Watch out for the blitz this time, because if they get him, that'll push him back and almost out of field goal range.
Harbaugh's got that jaw working. Inside handoff. Muster. Brian Noble again.
He talked about that chin strap move, and this looks like Edgar Bergen's Charlie McCarthy here. Watch that. Where's the hand in his back? One thing the Bears have got to find out is how to block number 91, Brian Noble, because he's fighting off everything up front, finding where the ball carrier is, and pinning him on his back.
5 tackles for Brian Noble, and a little cheerleading. Understandable. Draw play. Nowhere to go.
A lot of people may wonder why they went with the draw. Ditka's thinking 3 points here. If they were to go back and pass and get a sack, that would push them out of field goal range, especially in light of the fact that they're going into the wind with this kick that should come from about 42 yards away.
Kevin Butler was 1 of 2 last week. One of those, the miss, 57 yards. And a streak of 24 in a row. This will be from 41 yards out. Boy, right down the pipe. Excellent kick by Butler. So Mike Ditka's team gets something out of the drive. They're on the scoreboard. They still trail by Dart. And then slumped at the finish with a 2-10 mark. Vince Workman gets all out of whack. So the special teams return work for the Green Bay Packers has been a little suspect thus far. Mickey Pruitt down there as a part of the pile. Chicago says they recovered a fumble, but there has been no indication thus. Anthony Dilweg heads on the field. Green Bay has the ball in time. Packers stymied by poor field position. Here's Dilweg, 5-step drop into the flat for Sterling Sharp, his third catch. And Rivera knocks him out of bounds. Up around the helmet, he hit the shoulder pad. But Sterling Sharp with 3 catches in the first half already.
Well, Mandrich had a little tough time the last time the Packers had the ball. Here he's working against Armstrong and gets into him nicely the first time, and that's the key when you have that type of size. Mandrich hasn't made a whole lot of friends in the National Football League in his short time here, but he has made a few dollars, especially for an offensive lineman.
It's funny talking with the Chicago offensive lineman yesterday about this commercial series he did. They all said, we understand. He made a lot of money doing it. No problem.
More power to him.
Second down and short. Of course, Keith Van Horn of the Chicago Bears did say, you know, it's not enough we don't get much respect or recognition, but now all of a sudden we got an offensive lineman who talks like Bosworth. And he was speaking of Tony Mandrich.
Those commercials are rather humorous, and I think they were made in that vein, but that type of thing is going to fire up and add to any rivalry, and Ditka, of course, he welcomes that because it helps make his job of motivation that much easier. Called them bozo in the papers.
Well, we hope you got a chance to see one of those commercials that ran in the NFL today. That sounds redundant, doesn't it? Handoff. Whoops, not much there. Whoa! Woodside. Fumble. Scramble.
Boy, they're bending fingers back and shoving bamboo shoots behind fingernails and all kinds of things down there.
Bears ball.
This is really a shame for Woodside because he does make an outstanding effort here bouncing this to the outside, but this is what happens. He loses track of where everybody is, and there are just so many Bears swarming around. It is Mark Carrier that punches this one out. And a Bear has it down there somewhere.
Mark Carrier. And here's Mike Singletary, who ultimately was a part of it. So the turnover at the 29, Chicago first down. Neil Anderson, no. Bob Nelson, number 79, and Robert Brown, 93, up on top.
Field position is so much a part of the Bears' defensive game plan. We talked about the good kick coverage and the good punting of Maury Buford that they had last week against the Seattle Seahawks. The average field position for the Packers taking over the ball so far today has been inside the 20-yard line, and that 20-yard line really is the magical line.
7-3, 7:28 to go, first half. It's second down. See if Green Bay is blitzing. This is their normal blitz down. And they're coming, a blitz on the run. Jim Harbaugh said yesterday, we've got to concentrate on second down between 6 and 9 yards. Rams still leading 14-0. Big early season game in Detroit. Major disappointment last week on top of Atlanta. Jets lead by 10.
What's the plural for run and shoot?
Ran and shot.
Well, the Seahawks
past tense, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what the Seahawks ran last week.
Run and shoot in the foot. 3rd and 5, 7-3, Green Bay leads. Harbaugh for Wendell Davis, who has to adjust. He went to the outside and the pass over his right shoulder. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, and Harbaugh really missed one here this time. Not the pass so much, but his decision on who to throw the ball to. He had Neil Anderson single covered on the outside by a linebacker, and I'm sure that's what Ditka's saying right now is go through your reads. That's the mismatch that we've got to take advantage of.
42-yard field goal into the wind. Butler hit one from 41 the last time they were down here. Nice job of holding by Mike Tomczak, and it hits the upright. Flag is down.
And so's Butler.
the 19. Harbaugh looks right down the middle, finds his receiver inside the 10. Let's see what kind of snap this was.
Here's Harbaugh. Check out where that ball comes in. Now that's a perfect hold. Tomczak got it before the ball hit the ground, and that's a good call by the officials. Big question I have now is how is the kicker, Keith Butler? That's his plant leg that he was injured, on that play. Will he be able to kick?
Kevin Butler on the sidelines. Harbaugh now 3 of 5. First and goal. Chicago, they trail by 4. James Rouse, the rookie fullback from Arkansas. He was a 7th-round draft choice who came to the team as a tailback, and just a week or so before the cut down to 47 was moved over to fullback behind Brad Mustard. It'll be second and goal at the 4-yard line. 7-3 with 5:12 to go, first half. Hilgenberg up over the ball. Jim Covert, left tackle, back split. 8-man front for the Green Bay Packers. Harbaugh inside handoff to the 2-yard line. It'll be third and goal. There's Kevin Butler on the sideline. Now Blaze Winter hurries onto the field defensively for Green Bay, replacing Mark Lee. That's Winter, number 68. And Tim Harris told us yesterday he started doing this when he was at Memphis State, trying to get the crowd into it.
Well, he might have had to try to do that at Memphis State. No trouble getting the crowd into it here in Green Bay.
2 tight ends line up tight to the right. This is Bozo, or wide right. Toss to Anderson. Touchdown, Chicago. Tom Thayer with the big block.
This is a great combination when you get blocking like Thayer provided this time, and then the talent and the moves of Neal Anderson as he makes 2 beautiful moves and then has enough speed to get into the end zone. Bears capitalizing on the turnover, getting 6.
Tom Thayer with the block on Jerry Holmes, providing the room for Neal Anderson to get in for the touchdown. That's his 3rd of the year. Anderson, who had 101 yards on the ground last week in the win over Seattle. High snap this time. But Tomczak with the hold, and Butler's kick is good. So denied a score when the field goal hit the upright, but given new life on the penalty. The Bears capitalize and take the lead. Go before halftime, the Bears capitalize on 2 breaks. First of all, Ron Rivera recovers the Keith Woodside fumble, and then on an unsuccessful field goal, the Packers guilty of running into the kicker. New life for Chicago, and Neal Anderson gets the touchdown. Flag is down. The kick is taken by Vince Workman. He's out near the 30-yard line. See what they've got in mind inside the 15. Yep, they're coming. Harbaugh back. Little shovel pass. Goes to Neal Anderson, and he's cut down just short of the first down.
Well, that's really learning your lessons well for Harbaugh. Seeing nothing down the field, finding out exactly where his check down receiver is. That time it's Anderson. What better check down receiver to have than a guy that can pick up a lot of yards in a hurry for you. But the Bears are really in wonderful shape here, taking advantage of 2 turnovers. And the Packers have just gone dead in the water.
Well, Lindy and Bonnie said, we don't have the kind of team that can play with turnovers. We've got to keep it to ourselves. They haven't here in the first half. 3rd and 1. Up on top, that's going to be close. James Rouse took the Herschel Walker route up over the top. 1st and goal.
You wonder why Muster isn't in the game. Rouse has been in the last few series, gets the call on 3rd and short there, and he picks up the big first down.
See Mark Lee, number 22, the 11-year vet. There is Rouse. Lee urging his defensive teammates on. We are at the 2-minute warning. Chicago lead, but whether or not he will return. And James Rouse has taken his place. Rouse and the Chicago team break the huddle and come to the line on 1st and goal at the 5. And watch Jim Harbaugh bark out the signals. Dennis Gentry, the all-purpose offensive threat, in motion. They hand it off to Anderson, who is tripped up at the 4. Scott Stephen gets credit for the tackle, and the Green Bay Packers have called timeout.
That's a smart move by the Packers because it is 2nd down now, and they might be able to get the ball back from the Bears regardless of whether the Bears score.
Away. Right now it's 2nd down and goal. Ron Morris, number 84, in motion. Bears lead it by 3. The toss, Anderson comes left. Tim Harris forces him inside and then makes the tackle. 3rd and goal from about 2 yards out. And the Packers have called another time.
He is deserved who made the Pro Bowl last year, but what a guy, that Tim Harris.
First touchdown by Chicago came from the fumble, and now it's 3rd and goal from the 2. Bozo in motion. Bozo. Rollout. Harbaugh with Bortz in front. Touchdown! There are some Bear fans here.
Yeah, and they know one thing, that Harbaugh is not going to throw this ball at all. He had a couple of guys in the end zone there, but he's going to pull it down and use that athletic ability, the dive for the score. And the Packers are down by 10 here.
Jim Harbaugh said yesterday, I don't want to quit running. I think I can help the team running 3 or 4 times a game. Butler's extra point is good, and Jim Harbaugh gets the touchdown on 3rd and goal from the 2 to increase the Bear lead to 10.
This is a dimension that Harbaugh gives Ditka that he likes, is that another running back in the backfield, especially in this situation where there's the option. Here he yells to Bortz, hey, let's go. I've got one. Bortz kicks out. Harbaugh cuts it up for the points.
Well, it was a mismatch on that far side, too. Mark Bortz against Mark Lee.
Well, in the secondary, they have to stay back and respect Harbaugh's throwing ability because they've got receivers there. And so there's nobody on the corner, and Harbaugh gets in rather easily.
Rams leading Tampa Bay 21-7. Jim Harbaugh has given the Bears a 10-point lead. The Jets out by 17, and Miami over Buffalo 13-0. We'll have all the scores and highlights. The Cardinals have now scored for the first time in 1990.
I wish we'd keep putting up those Miami and Tampa scores because I get warmer when I see them. I mean, you said it was 80 degrees here last week.
It was wonderful.
That must have been summer.
Interesting, Dan, what you were telling me before the game. Of course, the Ice Bowl here in Green Bay in '67, one of the more famous cold weather games, but you played in one that was even colder in Cincinnati, and you're still feeling effects from it.
Well, I did suffer frostbite, but I think the bigger effects is that I don't have that ring on my finger.
I see.
I'd take the ring. That would warm these fingers up a little.
Charles Wilson, number 88. Nice run after the 35. The Packers have 1 timeout left, and Anthony Dilweg comes on. But you must wonder now under what circumstance Lindy Infante might call on Don Majkowski and see if it might be in the second half.
I think this is where we find out, is it really the system of Infante, or is it the quarterback and the intangible part of playing quarterback that really comes to light in these type of situations?
1:27 to go. James Campen over the ball in the shotgun. Into the flat. Oh, boy. Herman Fontenot, who was a holdout this summer and just activated today, is hit by Sean Gale. Listen to the hit by Sean Gale. Well, we'll get to it a little later, perhaps, as the Packers go with no huddle. Dilweg sidearms it. Caught by Jeff Query at the 41. And now a timeout has been called by the Packers. Let's go back to the play prior to this one, Dan, and listen to the pass.
That's hard plastic on hard plastic, and right now Anthony Dilweg, besides talking to Lindy and Fonnie, ought to be getting together with Herman and saying, sorry, brother, that one's a little late.
Final timeout used by the Packers now. And 3rd down and 4. Dilweg, Barry Kemp. That's a first down at the 50. They'll go with the no huddle now. They are out of timeouts.
Boy, the Bears blitzed that time, and Dilweg burned them.
Trace Armstrong, the last man back. Down the middle. Jeff Query at the 33. 35 seconds to go. See if he doesn't try and kill the clock with an incomplete pass now. There it is.
And what he also got is he got Richard Dent offside. Snapped the ball before Dent was onside. And this is going to be a free 5 yards for the Packers.
Perry, and I believe he's arguing with James Campen, the center.
The one thing that they say about Dilweg is he is very intelligent, and I think we're seeing just what they're talking about. He beat the blitz on the pass to Kemp.
Offside. Defense. Number 95.
Then he hustles his team up to the line of scrimmage, snaps the ball before Richard Dent, number 95, gets back onside. Dent is loafing there, and there's the ball is snapped. That's a legal play, a free 5 yards for Green Bay. Nice job by Dilweg.
Very nice job of clock management by Anthony Dilweg.
Plus, he got the clock stopped by that penalty, so he really struck the bonus there.
27 seconds to go. They are within Chris Jackie's field goal range now. Jackie hit a 53-yarder last week that could have gone through from 60. Out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Dilweg. Clarence Weathers out of bounds at the 20. 21 seconds to go. How impressive has this been?
Well, remember back when the Bears had the ball and they were going in for their touchdown, Lindy Infante was using timeouts, knowing that his pass offense is good enough with the right guy running it. In this case, he's got two good guys running it, Dilweg and Mikowski, but it's good enough to manage the clock with no timeouts.
1st and 10 with 21 seconds to go in the half. Bears are blitzing. Dilweg is rolling. Incomplete. 17 seconds to go. So time for a couple of more plays. And Anthony Dilweg will come over and chat with Lindy Infante.
That was a nice job of Dilweg recognizing the blitz, rolling away from it. In fact, the Bears were bringing almost everybody. Donnell Wolford came on the corner blitz.
There's Chris Jackie, the second-year kicker out of the University of Texas at El Paso.
You know, it's interesting, in the front line of the Packers, they have their second team in there. Manrich is out, Weingrad is in, Moran and Hallstrom are in at the guards.
Five-man rush. Dilweg. Oh, and he had Sterling Sharp wide open at the 5-yard line.
Well, Dilweg comes out here, and he would love to have this one back because Sharp is standing all alone, would have had the grab, and may have been able to get in for the 6.
Now with 12 seconds to go, surprised by this, they're going for the field goal now.
Yeah, I am. I think you got plenty of time to get one more play off, but maybe Lindy's a little worried about his quarterback throwing one up for grabs.
So they go for the 37-yard field goal on 3rd down. Don Bracken will hold. They got 3. opponent all week. They both took half the snaps. Here's Jackie. Squib kick taken by Johnny Bailey. And he is out of bounds up near the 35-yard line with 4 seconds to go. 140th meeting. This should be the final play of the half. Anderson. Out near the 46, and Neil Anderson will wind up with about 28 yards in the first half. The Bears take advantage of 2 turnovers to take a 17-10 lead. That's the end of the first half with our score, Chicago 17 and Green Bay 10. Received to open the second half. Dennis Gentry at the goal line. Nice open field tackle by Mike Wedding, I guess.
Well, especially when you look at Harbaugh's first play, his first pass was picked off. You know Ditka's going to go back to conservative.
High formation on first down. Anderson. Flag is down. And Anderson gets by Mark Murphy.
Hilgenberg won them all. He's a very popular guy.
No doubt that Hilgenberg's the leader of that bunch. Ron Morris in motion. Anderson on a sweep right. Matt Brock, number 62.
Here in Green Bay, and he'll work out all year. That's what he's done. Now he's starting at left end.
Second down and 14 from the 10. Sweep left. Similar results. This time it's Scott Stevens.
Where their job is to free up the people playing behind them.
Scott Stevens, who replaced John Anderson at that outside linebacker spot. Now Harris lines up at right defensive end on third down and 14. Out of the shotgun, hand off to Gentry. Test the middle, it'll be fourth down. As Gentry gets players stuck with the team.
Some of that water went down the wrong pipe there, didn't it?
Had that happen to me and it wasn't water.
I hate that.
12:05 to go, third quarter. Here's Buford. Jeff Query at the 45. And the Packers will have good field position at the 50-yard line. Packers trail 17-10. Dilweg. Play fake. Richard Dent. Blew through untouched. Out of the shotgun on second and 20. Settles short for him and Herman Fontenot. And Fontenot fights for yardage up near the 48-yard line before David Tate, number 49, made the tackle. Mark Murphy, one of the heroes. Third and 12. They're blitzing and stunning. And Dilweg with McMichael right in his face. Short arms it to Fontenot. It'll be a punting situation. And Johnny Bailey, product of Houston Yates High School and Texas A&I. In Kingsville, Texas. There's Bracken's punt. Nice one. At the 7-yard line, Bailey chased out of bounds at the 15. So Jackie Harris with the tackle, number 80, a 45-yard punt, and 9 on the return. 10:33 to go. First down at the 15. A 17-10 Chicago lead. Make it officially the 16-yard line. Across the middle to Ron Morris, a 5-yard gain, and a flag comes flying way late in the offensive backfield. Harbaugh with a safety valve pass to Anderson as Harris was coming. And that's a gain to the 11, the tackle made by Mark Lee.
This is real nervous time for the Bears because they have started their initial 2 drives of this second half with penalties, holding penalties that have pushed them back inside the 10-yard line. See Tomczak there with the signals.
Well, interesting, they've got the one man in the civvies shading him from a press box view.
I never understood who they're trying to block the signals from.
That was kind of interesting.
I couldn't see a thing. Maybe they don't want us to know what the play is.
Maybe that's it.
I used to tell the guy shading to get out of the way so I could see the play.
Second down and 14. Gentry out of the backfield to the left. Harbaugh flushed out of the pocket, caught and dropped. Matt Brock.
Matt Brock is number 62 at the top of the screen, and he just keeps fighting his way past Keith Van Horn and chases Harbaugh down from behind. That may be the first NFL sack of his career. Broke his hand after about 4 games last year. Spent a lot of time on the IR, but he's a happy dude.
Second sack of Harbaugh today. And they don't get many out of the offensive line. Keep in mind, Harris is a linebacker and the only acknowledged pass rusher. 3rd and 17. Harbaugh chased by Steven. Goes deep, incomplete.
Boy, and right in his face after he throws it out of bounds is Tim Harris working his jaw.
And now you'll hear it for the Green Bay Packer defense.
You couldn't ask for a better start of the second half if you're a Packer fan. Or a worse start of a second half if you're a Bear fan.
Buford has to kick into a wind, which has subsided a little bit. But Jeff Query, who has great speed, waits for it at the 50. He returned 5 for nearly 15-yard average last week. Nice high punt. Query at the 48. To the 44-yard line. As they had a right return set up. Chargers out in front of Cincinnati. They're only 4.5 back, and San Francisco and Houston scoreless in the first inning of play. 1st and 10, Green Bay. Quick drop, Perry Kemp. And Perry Kemp with the first down at the 31-yard line. Donnell Wolford with the tackle. And Kemp injured at the 30.
Yeah, it looked like he got his head jammed on the down on the grass there. Tackled by Wolford. This is really a well-executed quick hitch for the Packers. Dilweg gets this ball off long before Kemp even turns his head around. The ball is right there. Let's see how he gets hurt. Yeah, he got the forehead right on the turf there. This guy, Perry Kemp, he's been the hittee of the year a couple of times in the NFL. Last week against the Rams, he really took a shot from one of the safeties. This time, it's Mother Earth that hits him.
Last week, he had 6 catches. Really kind of a, I don't mean to be disparaging when I say nondescript, but he's not a well-known receiver. He just hangs on to his job, with Sterling Sharp gathering so much attention at the other wide receiver spot.
And he's caught 48 balls the last 2 years. He has the knowledge of Lindy's system, was with him in the USFL and with the Cleveland Browns.
Well, he's apparently all right. Now Jeff Query has taken his place, the second-year man from Milliken. He's wide to the right, and Sharp is split top of your screen. 1st and 10. Packers at the 31. Another short drop by Dilweg, and he's hit, gets away, fumble, and Jim Morrissey recovers for the Bears. That's the 3rd turnover for the Green Bay Packers and the 2nd fumble for Dilweg in the game.
This is the 2nd fumble he's lost, but he has dropped the ball a couple of other times. One was recovered by Mandrich, and the whistle was blown on the other attempt. Perry should have made that tackle. Probably good thing he didn't, because Trace Armstrong came by, knocked the ball away, and Jim Morrissey has the fumble recovery. But Dilweg has to learn that presence. The only way he learns it is through experience. Got to be a little bit disappointed.
Well, if you're a lip reader, you know he wasn't happy. 1st down at the 29. 17-10. Handoff. Neil Anderson. Chased by Johnny Holiday. Biggest play offensively for the Bears today. A gain of 30 yards.
All right, this is the left guard, Mark Bortz. Watch him pull and make an outstanding block here for Neil Anderson. Right on Murphy, right in the hole, and now Anderson is into the secondary. And he's close to going all the way. The angle by Johnny Holland is all that saves the Packers that time.
62 yards on 17 carries for Neil Anderson. And the Bears have a first down at the Green Bay 42. 7.5 to go, third quarter. And Chicago leads it 17-10. Whoa! Brian Noble again. Playing an outstanding game. 7 tackles for Noble.
You know, if you're a baseball player, this is what it feels like to hit a home run. Now he's a linebacker coming through, fighting off his block. Watch the yellow helmet right there, the shoulder, and the
goes deep, left side. Ron Morris wide open, touchdown Chicago. Jerry Holmes short, Murphy deep. Beat them both.
Well, when you're running the ball well, you can run play action pass. Look at Holmes is looking in the backfield. I got to believe Murphy's eyes were in the backfield as well, as he's late. This is his responsibility, that half of the field.
This time a 40-yard touchdown pass. Jim Harbaugh to Ron Morris with 24-10 lead. Here's Vince Workman jumping high for the kickoff and tripped up as he gets near the 30-yard line, a 16-yard.
Because of those turnovers.
The brighter side of things is that Anthony Dilwick is 12 of 19 for 116. And he'll throw on first down. Sterling Sharp overthrown. Second down and 10. 24-10, Chicago. Dilwick. That one's dropped by Woodside. This is what they call the flush formation. 4 wide receivers. Haddock's the running back. 3 of those wide receivers to the right side. Stunts by the Bears defense. Nice pass. Oh, Dilwick laid it into Clarence Weathers at the 50. A 20-yard gain first this year by the Packers. Brent Fullwood in the backfield now. On first and 10 from the 50, Fullwood for the handoff. Gain of a couple.
Well, the Packers have just not had any success in the first 2 weeks of the season running the ball. Their longest run last week was about 31 yards from Vince Workman on a draw play, but they're not getting any consistency at all with Fullwood running the ball, or Haddock or anybody else.
That's Keith Euchre with the bandage around his forehead. Well, they're one of 2 teams wearing the black shoes now. The Eagles are the other. The Eagles voted as a team to wear black shoes. Well, Chicago did not.
Well,
Ditka said we're wearing black shoes. Here's Woodside to the 40-yard line, close for the first down. There's the guy that had the vote.
Yeah, one of the offensive linemen told them out and started making black tape, and they're selling a whole bunch to two teams here.
3rd and 1. Fullwood got it. That's a first down at the 38. The Packers do. Dilwick. And West, the big tight end, but a flag is down. That may bring it back. West, who had 2 touchdown grabs last week, starting spots back, but.
And as a former player, you wonder how much the front office has to do with that decision.
Dilwick. Nice pattern to Perry Kemp. They got some back to the 35-yard line. David Tate makes 15 to go. 3rd quarter. 4 wide receivers in for the Green Bay Packers. 4-man rush, stunts by the Bears. Dilweg, 1 hopper, incomplete. 4th down, 3rd down. Than anybody else ever in their starts.
The impressive thing is he improves from 1 touchdown his rookie year to 12 last year. Those are Jerry Rice type of numbers.
3rd and 7. Dilweg with a lot of room. A lot of room. Mark Carrier. I formation this time. Woodside. Out of bounds inside the 10 at the 8. Lemuel Stinson. Play fake. Oh, he had to get rid of it. Flag is down, roughing the passer on Ron Rivera.
You wonder if that's a veteran quarterback if they make the same call. I doubt it.
They look for the shovel pass. It's not there. Adding 37 yards out. They wanted 7. They settled for 3, a 37-yard field goal, but that man's team still leads it 24-30. Through the end zone and out, riding 1st and 10, Chicago leading 24-13. Final 19 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Toss to Neil Anderson. Now this Green Bay defense has done a good job. They've given up only 2 big plays today, a 30-yard run by Anderson. Second week of the 1990 season. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. Jim Harbaugh has gone the distance at quarterback. Dennis Gentry out of the backfield. Pressure coming. Gentry makes the catch. Tiger Green rides it out of bounds, and that's good enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 31. Harbaugh now 7 of 10 for 106 yards. Drills it to Gentry. That's a gain of 9 to the 39 in front of Jerry Holmes. 2nd down and 2. Brad Buster has checked back into the lineup. Out since early in the game with blurred vision. Ron Morris in motion. Anderson, no. Brian Noble again. What a big day he's had. 3rd and inches. That should be enough for a Chicago 1st down. Mike
likes that roll.
Seems that every time he's on the field, something significant happens. Saw that Phoenix is coming back. 1st and 10, Chicago. They lead by 11. Harbaugh, left side. Gentry. Mark Murphy and Johnny Holland knock him out of bounds, but they lead it by 11. Brian Noble and his Green Bay Packer defensive teammates trying to thwart the Chicago drive. Muster. Tim Harris makes the tackle. Buster, who sat out most of the 2nd and 3rd quarters.
Might mean one of the receivers is going to go on an up route.
2nd and 9, 24-13, Chicago. Harbaugh. Out of bounds at the 30, chased there by Scott Steven. And this is a significant play in this ballgame. 3rd and 5 from the 30. Anderson, first down, Chicago. He's good to the 20. 24-13, 9:40 remaining in the ball game. Anderson. Thayer pulled and led to the left. Play fake. Over Scott Steven. Touchdown! Neil Anderson from Jim Harbaugh. A gain of 16 and the TD. Butler's extra point is good. And Chicago may have salted the victory. 8:40 remaining. And Jim Harbaugh's touchdown toss has given them an 18-point lead. Now Kevin Butler is on to kick off again. Charles Wilson. And he's out near the 30-yard line. Flag is down. 31-13 now. Chicago up by 18 points. That pass caught at the 39-yard line by...
Time to give Majkowski some playing time to get him ready. This could be Majkowski's training camp, preseason games.
Don Majkowski has not played in a competitive situation this year. Here's Anthony Dilweg, nailed. Richard Dent with his second sack today, and that's 6 for the afternoon. 6 Bear sacks. Carrier, the first-round draft choice out of Southern California.
Center field, just watching the quarterback's eyes, looking for that overthrown pass and making the interception.
Mark Carrier follows in a grand tradition at Southern Cal. Ronnie Lott, Joey Browner, Dennis Smith, Tim McDonald, and Carrier. Matter of fact, he said he became good friends with Mark Green and James Rouse are the running backs now. And Mike Tomczak is in at quarterback. That pass behind James Rouse, so... While Don Majkowski continues to prowl the Green Bay sideline, the backup in Chicago has gotten in the game. Mike Tomczak is in.
You wonder how much more punishment Lindy Infante wants to subject poor Anthony Dilweg to. 6 sacks today. And you wonder also just how anxious Majkowski is to get into that fray.
Dan Hampton says, come on, leave me alone. Second down and 10. Tomczak, draw play to Rouse. Dan, you had a chance about an hour before the game to talk to Dan Hampton, who, as we said, is playing with 10 knee operations. And he was distressed by the comments by Bill Walsh last week.
Well, and the thing that how I can relate to Dan Hampton, of course, I played in the league for 15 years, and I've had a number of knee operations myself, but you never want to give up the game, no matter what you've been through. If you feel healthy enough to get out on that field and perform enough to make yourself proud, then you're going to do it regardless of what condition you're in. And that's when you leave this game, baby, it's over, and Dan Hampton knows that. He doesn't want to leave it just yet.
3rd and 8. Incomplete, intended on the left side for Mark Green. Well, we had a chance to talk with Mike Ditka yesterday about the Dan Hampton circumstance, and Mike said, you know, at some point, loyalty's a two-way street. And Mike said, I feel a loyalty to Dan Hampton for what he's meant to this team. And if I can help him prolong his career, I want to do it. Now here's Don Majkowski, who apparently will get in after a helmet hit from Tim Harris.
Well, he says he hasn't been hit all year. He can't wait to have his first hit.
And it comes from Harris.
From his own guy.
Maury Buford. Great field position to start, that's for sure. How about the 4-yard line?
That's what they call the coffin corner kick. And if you listen closely enough, you'll hear the nails going into that coffin.
Neil Anderson with 71 yards and 2 touchdowns today, 1 on the ground. 5 times led the Packers from behind a year ago. Hit from behind. That is a forward pass. Dale Hamer indicating right away that Majkowski had been coming forward and Richard Dent will. So it's 2nd down and 10. Here's Majkowski. Sterling Sharp drops the ball. His parents home near Buffalo, so he managed to watch most of the preseason games while he was holding out. Didn't like it when they kept talking about his absence. He said it sounded like he died. From the end zone, Dent coming. Sterling Sharp catches this one. That's a 1st down at the 22. At the 22. 31-13 ball game. Clarence Weathers leaps up to make this grab. Get to it in a second. Here he comes near side. That's caught by Jeff Query. The most memorable. 31-13. Donnell Wolford was coming with the cornerback blitz and deflected the ball.
I hope Bobby's watching.
Did he run or throw?
He did it all.
Yeah. Majkowski. Fontenot, fumble. But the back Query with a 23-yard catch. Majkowski. Clay, he doesn't look rusty, does he?
No, he doesn't. One of the things, though, going in his favor is he's going up against a defense that really isn't Washington and Ryan in on that defensive line.
This time it's Weathers to the 19-yard line. Majkowski is 7 of 10 in this drive. Weathers catches another one. That's down at the 12-yard line. Well, it is exciting if deceptive.
Well, what it is, Majkowski calls timeout. He's probably a little winded from doing all these plays.
Now listen to the stands. Majkowski 8 of 11 for the 84 yards. 1st down at the 12. Intercepted. Touchback. Sean Gale. Backs in the eye. Bears will work on the clock. Mark Green, number 31. Next up for Chicago, a game at home against the Minnesota Vikings, and then they go out to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Raiders. Green Bay will be at home against Kansas City next week before they go on the road for a while.
And in just 3 weeks, Vern, these two teams will get back together at Soldier Field. And I got a feeling that Mike Ditka may be seeing a new starting quarterback on the other side of the field in this man, Don Majkowski.
First game of our doubleheader, and most of you will see Washington-San Francisco game 2.
Dilweg is going to be an outstanding quarterback in this league, I believe, and he has done an outstanding job so far. But there's just something about Majkowski. Everybody feels it when he goes in the game. There's an electricity that he provides for the Packer offense, and he got some good work in on that last drive.
18-point Chicago lead, 3:24 to go. 2nd and 4. Johnny Bailey out to the 35-yard line. Drafted in the 9th round. The knock was too small. Mike Ditka said yesterday he's got some moves that remind me of Gale Sayers.
And you wonder when the knock too small is going to be forgotten, because if you look at guys like Barry Sanders, and there's a number of backs around the league that are about 5'8", 5'9", but what they have is great balance. They're well built. 180 pounds on a 5'8" frame, that's a lot. Bailey's got some strength, and, you know, he gained a whole bunch of yards, more yardage than anybody else in college football has ever done at Texas A&I. And although it's a small school, as Ditka says, they didn't do it with mirrors down there. They were people trying to tackle him.
Anthony Dilweg, I believe that was Chuck Cecil he was chatting with. It is. Chuck placed on injured reserve yesterday, the starting free safety of the Green Bay Packers, bothered by a hamstring, so he'll be down for a month. Jackie and Bracken talked to Dilweg.
Well, they're telling him, good job. You did a heck of a job out there. And listen, don't worry about it. Don't get your old dauber down. But you notice they're both kickers.
Is that what happens when you're down 18?
You don't see any of the big offensive linemen or anybody else, or especially nobody from the defense. All they know is that they're losing by 18. Kickers have no idea what the score is.
Packers are down by 18 points, and they are out of timeouts. Green and Rouse in the backfield now. James Rouse out to the 40-yard line, and that'll bring up a second down.
I knew one thing. If I was standing on the sidelines and my team was behind by 18 points, and the only people talking to me were two kickers, I was in real trouble.
Now the kickers moved away.
There's Blair Keel, though. He'll offer some consolation as well. But the Bear defensive line, there's the story today. All those
Bears. 2nd and 5. Johnny Bailey again after the 45. And that's going to be enough for a...
And here, the Eagles, everybody thought they'd walk all over Phoenix. Not so.
See the Bears emulating Tim Harris with a derisive tint to their gestures. 2-minute warning. 31 the last two. Here's Mark Green. He's knocked down at the 46. Again, the Packers cannot stop the clock, so it will continue to unravel. Chicago will equal their start of last year. They go off to a 2-0 start. Green Bay falls to 1-1.
And I think that the advantage that the Bears have this year is they're more prepared for injuries than they were last year. A lot of their youngsters, their first and second year guys, have matured, and plus they've also been given a lot of playing time throughout the preseason. Last week against Seattle, and we've seen a lot of substitutions today by the Bear defense, so they're ready in case any injuries may happen along.
Final score: the Cardinals knock off Philadelphia. Joe Bugle gets his first win, and the Eagles fall to 0-2. Don't think they miss Keith Jackson much, do you? Johnny Bailey with another carry.
Well, I'd like to see Bailey in the open field, because whenever you're compared to a player like Gale Sayers, that is saying quite a bit. Nobody in my mind has ever been a better open field runner than Gale Sayers. And Ditka says that some of the moves that Bailey has remind him a lot. And of course, Ditka played with Gale.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I think Gale Sayers may be the best I've ever seen. Open field cuts.
I grew up as a 49er fan, and he made the Hall of Fame playing against the 49ers.
I remember the game. Final 25 seconds of the ball game. What was it, 6 touchdowns one time? So the Chicago Bears will win it. They convert 3 fumbles into touchdowns. They get a conservative game plan, but an effective performance from Jim Harbaugh, who winds up 11 of 14 for 161. And Mike Ditka's team has defeated the Green Bay Packers by a 31-13 count. So for Dan Fouts, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Lambeau Field. Our final score, 31-13 Chicago. Stay tuned for the